So let's say you own a car and decide to take it to a car washing service for a cleaning. The car wash service returns the car back to you in 3 hours, which is about 2 hours later than what they told you. And to your disbelief, the car is still rather dirty, the interior is stained with cleaning solution, and there are some fresh scratches and dents on the exterior. You go talk to the front desk and demand a refund, but they don't give you one no matter what you say or do. As a customer, you had an expectation of a service you paid for, but yet the business suffered no consequences when they failed to perform that service. Whether it's a car washing service, buying a new TV, or using a large-scale service like Netflix, companies need to have service-level agreements or SLAs. These are agreements that you make with your customers about the reliability of your service. An SLA has to have consequences if it's violated, otherwise there's no point in making one. If your customers are paying for something, and you violate an SLA, there needs to be consequences such as giving your customers partial refunds or extra service credits. With that said, if you are only alerted of issues after they violated your SLA, that could be a very costly service to run. Therefore, it is in your best interest to catch an issue before it breaches your SLA so that you have time to fix it. These thresholds are your SLOs, service level objectives. They should always be stronger than your SLAs because customers are usually impacted before the SLA is actually breached, and violating SLAs requires costly compensation. So to sum up, an SLA is an external promise that comes with consequences, often monetary, while an SLO is effectively an internal promise to meet customer expectations. So what do you want to promise your customers? After all, deciding how reliable you want your service to be depends on what your customers expect. For example, do you want to promise that every HTTP request a customer makes on your service returns a response in 300 milliseconds or less? In general, the minimum it takes for a customer to not be repelled by your service is a good starting point. If your SLA says that for every request your customer makes, they'll get a response in 300 milliseconds, then perhaps your SLO you'll want to say that the response will be returned in 200 milliseconds instead. What about the consequences of violating your SLA? What do you think the equivalent consequence should be when you've breached the promise to meet those customer expectations? You'll learn how to decide this information throughout these lessons, but just keep in mind that when you do violate your SLOs, it suddenly becomes really important to no longer have more outages. So you'll want to take steps to remove risks from your service. That means slowing down the rate of change to the system and eliminating risks either by doing fewer pushes, devoting engineering and automation efforts to reducing and eliminating areas of risks, etc.